off with the opening statement on thoughts on Fresno State.
Well, again, excited to get on the road. After a long camp and a couple games at home, it's always nice to have that first road trip, get everybody kind of traveling together in a hotel together, and just again, when you're going up a team like Fresno too, I believe they had a sellout last week, 41,000. I've played there, a good handful of times when I was at UNLV, so they always have a great atmosphere. So it's going to be fun to kind of have our backs against the wall, playing a really good team. Their head coach, Tim Skipper, was a defensive coordinator for me at UNLV, so he's a great guy. So it'll be good to see him. But I'm excited to get these guys back out there. Really proud of the effort that we put out. Last Saturday, really disappointed in the outcome. So the best medicine for that is getting back out and playing again. So I'm excited about that and continuing to watch this team grow.
Questions? Coach Sanchez, just to put a cherry on top of the last game, just obviously not the result you guys wanted, but I guess what's one thing you guys can take away from the way that game played out that you guys are going to carry into not only
the biggest thing is the growth from week 1 to week 2. Love the way the defense ran around and played violently. When you go back and you watch the film, we were running and hitting. We did a great job of putting pressure on the quarterback. Biggest takeaway is just finishing. We give up 260 yards the first 10 series. In the last 2 series, we give up 170. So, that's really a tale of two cities. And then offensively, we had a great plan coming on out and then got real stale. So, same thing. I challenged the guys last week to come out swinging, and they did. We jumped on them. We had an opportunity up 17-3 after three and out with the ball. We just got to learn to put people away. So, this team, again, a lot of new guys, still a lot of youth out there. They're growing, and excited to continue to watch them grow.
Despite the loss, this can be for all of you guys, but just despite the loss, how do you feel this kind of just helped you guys with your guys' confidence, just knowing you guys almost pulled off a win against arguably one of the top programs in the conference?
Yeah, I think it's encouraging for us. I think it brings us close together. Definitely going to work on fixing the things we need to fix and get back to it. Like you said, best thing for that's getting that bad taste out of your mouth to go and kicking it off on Saturday. So glad we don't have a week off.
Yeah, as simple as that. It's definitely encouraging for us. I think it definitely showed us a lot of our true potential. I think we got the motor, we got the energy. It's just about fine-tuning those things and really getting into the concept of controlled aggression and being able to master that. And once we do that, I feel like honestly the sky's the limit for this team. I feel just as confident about this season as I did, before the last game. So, like I said, just excited to put it behind us and take it on this week.
I think, going into the game is, I think there's a lot of people on the periph that were surprised by the outcome last Saturday. I don't think there's anybody in our building that was. I've done this for a long time, coached a lot of really good players. A lot of our coaches have too. We know what we have on this roster. We know there's some things that we need to fix. We got to get better at. There's no doubt about it. But I wasn't surprised one bit about, the way we played that night. So we got another task. So, Fresno's again one of the, I don't know what these rankings are, but you got, Liberty and Fresno that are ranked in the top 15, non-Power 4 schools in the country. So, it's going to be another great task. But all of it's going to sharpen our sword.
For Tony, I don't know how much. I'm assuming you got to watch back the game on Sunday or something like that. So I wanted to ask if you thought anything new about Parker's performance, or if when you watched it back, it just confirmed maybe your initial thoughts that you had on Saturday.
Yeah, he had a really great week of prep going in. He made some good throws early. There were some struggles later in the game. There's some decision making. There was a couple of mishaps, when it came to setting guy in motion and things like that, communication. He's got to improve on that. So at every position, even the position these guys play, competition never stops. So, we've got a bunch of guys in that quarterback room. We're going to continue to develop them and give them opportunities. And the guy who's playing best is going to get an opportunity. So, we're looking at that hard right now, but we need more production out of the quarterback spot for sure.
Right. This is going to be your first road game as the head coach at New Mexico State. Just how did you try to prepare for road games at UNLV? Was it maybe a little bit different, or just maybe the same? And how's that approach going to be?
It's funny. My career's been interesting. I took back in the high school days, I took a team to Seattle, Washington to play Bellevue. At Gorman, we always chartered planes and flew across the country and played teams. So we were doing it. I've had a lot of road games in my career. So really, the whole thing is about routine. This will be the first time we go on the routine with these guys. But we'll keep things the same. We'll come and do our ST meetings in the morning, do our walkthroughs. Only difference is instead of them having time off in the afternoon, we're flying somewhere, and then we'll go to the hotel and get into our meetings, get a good night's sleep. And, it's not much different than being at home. It really isn't, other than the afternoon on Friday.
you got to know Tim Skipper pretty well, obviously,
Oh, yeah.
at UNLV. Just what did you maybe learn about him while you guys worked together there, and what do you feel like his approach is going to be for Fresno State? What he's going to do with that
Yeah,
program?
well, first of all, I'm really happy for him. Proud of him. He's such a good man. He's a good guy. It was a pleasure working with him, and I knew him for years before he coached with me. Again, back in my Gorman days when he was an assistant at Fresno. So Tim's a really good guy. Comes from a great football family. Really happy that he got the opportunity to take over, and hopefully it ends up being a permanent thing. I think he deserves that, and I think he's definitely more qualified, to be able to do that. So he's a fiery guy. He's really articulate. He's an ex-Bulldog himself. Kind of like I'm an ex-Aggie. You know what I'm saying? So that always means a little bit more. Those guys will play hard for him. He'll have them well prepared. So again, I'm excited to see my friend and excited to go compete against him.
Obviously, you guys matched up against Fresno State last year. Obviously, different looking program. I guess how much prep or how much of last year's game is going to go into, if that's fair to say?
No, it is, but it's kind of like, the one thing that's really interesting, if you look at our last two games last year, we played Liberty and Fresno, then all of a sudden, right in a row again, it's Liberty and Fresno again. Well, we were a whole different team on Saturday night than we were last time we played Liberty, right? Completely different. And we'll be different than when we play Fresno, too. I mean, obviously, there's some schematic things that'll be similar, absolutely, but I'll tell you what, the focus and the fire we have, we've got some, both these guys sitting next to me are brand new to the program, so we got some different guys, in our huddles. So there'll be some similarities, but there'll be a lot of differences too. So they're going to have to prepare for us, with some fresh faces.
Just to piggyback off the quarterback group, is Parker still your starter moving forward? Or?
He is going into Tuesday's practice. He is. We're gonna. None of those guys can be comfortable though. They can't be comfortable. They can't be complacent. We're gonna. Right now, I told our offensive staff, let's create the game plan, and then we'll make sure that the guys executing at the highest level will be out there on Saturday.
As a coach, how do you go about making sure he develops while still making sure hey, we need him to perform and help us win ball games?
It's the way we communicate with them. Again, it's just it's the way we go about talking to them throughout the course of the week, the way we challenge them, and then they have to put in some extra time. Showing up to practice and watching the film that we assign to you, that's just not enough. If you're going to be a really good football player, you're going to have to dig in a little bit deeper. You're going to have to spend some of your own personal time preparing and getting ready for the things that are going to come at you and the offensive game plan we put in. So again, it's a competitive business, and you see it all the time. I'm watching the Sacramento State game, and they're rolling guys in and out, and Sacramento State's got a 7-point ball game in the third quarter with those guys. So again, I don't really want to be in a rotation deal, but I'm not afraid one bit to do it.
Just obviously the running back group has produced a lot for you guys so far. How do you go about just making sure Seth, Mike, and Monte, get the reps each game to feel comfortable?
Yeah, it's been pretty balanced, the first 2 weeks when it comes to Mike and Seth. Monte probably needs a couple more touches. We need to extend some drives, though. That's one of the issues, you know what I'm saying? When we got into deep in that late second quarter, early third quarter, we need to get some more first downs so we can extend drives, create some more offensive plays. But we definitely need to get a Monte in space. We saw him the other night, he damn near returned a kick return too. We were one guy away from, hitting that on the kick return. But we know we got some special backs. We can't allow people to be ragey inside the box. We're going to have to be able to develop a passing game that's going to allow people to play balanced and fair.
Seth, for you, obviously just making your return to the FBS level of football, how have you, I know we touched on it, but how have you kind of adjusted to it now? I know we're only 2 games in, but what do you think about your adjustment so far?
Well, first and foremost, I obviously want to thank God for, how easy He's made this transition and the guidance of Sanchez and Cobb and Wright and just the entire staff here have made the transition, very smooth. Obviously I can tell we have a very strong mentality here just as a culture, and like I said, that's mostly due to him, just kind of the culture that he's really instilled in this program. This program's kind of had that he's been a part of, and so honestly, it's not anything new to me. It's not anything that I'm unfamiliar with. It's kind of something that I've been ready to do, ever since I last left the game, and something that I've had on my mind every day. And so now it's just about really doing my job and fully embracing it, not making any type of mistakes. There's not really any room for error with me. So knowing that's just something that I'm super excited to be a part of. And like I said, everyone's made it really pretty smooth. So like I said, we feel like we're rolling for the most part.
I got another question for you, Seth. When I talked to Tony after the Liberty game Saturday, when we talked to him, he just mentioned how what they really want to be is a winning team, and that's why you guys get so many carries and things like that. So I wanted to ask, do you or Mike or Monty maybe feel any pressure based off that of that's what the identity of your teammate might be?
No, sir. It's no pressure at all. It's more so just opportunity, and we're grateful for that. We take that on every day, and we lift each other up. We work hard, but we laugh, we have fun with what we're doing. Obviously the name of the game is to dominate. We're not here just to play. We're not average players. I don't think anyone on this team is average. We all have an elite mindset, and with that mindset, everything else will follow under that category of just being an elite team and having an elite level of communication, an elite level of execution, an elite level of being able to sustain, what I'm saying? And when I feel like once we truly get into that offensive rhythm and our flow starts to unfold, it'll be pretty exciting to watch.
Right. And for Kale as well, this is the first time I've got to talk to you this season. You're one of the many transfers that have come in here and are on your first year of the program, things like that. So I just wanted to ask you just what brought you here to New Mexico State in the offseason? Just talk me just what the conversations were like between you and coaches, and just I guess the timeline of what brought you here to Las Cruces.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I'd like to thank God too, as Seth pointed out, bringing us all in. Seth new, I'm new. There's new coaches on the staff, so I think a lot of that new chemistry, I guess, we got to build together. And I just think like that second game showed that we can just keep building on that and growing together. For me, I think the coaching staff is honestly what brought me here. Like I enjoy talking to every one of them. That character of like the team kind of goes off the head coach, I think, and I think you can see like we're a tough team, like, and that's the identity that's kind of like bred into this team and instilled in this team through our summer practices, our lifts with Coach Klein, and it's I think it starts with Sanchez, moves through the coordinators and down to each position coach. And as Seth pointed out, I think that goes to each player in the positions too. So I want to be a part of that, and that's what brought me here.
Right. Did you just feel like it was time for a change in your career, or did something else kind of contribute to your exit from where you were at last year?
Yeah, I guess a change is a good way of putting it. Got to experience a new culture. I'm excited to be here, and I went from playing in the snow to playing in the heat, so I think it was fun to see what the difference is.
Yeah, I know for you too. I know we talked about transfers and parting and coming out a lot recently, but I just want to ask you maybe specifically, and just when you got to the Austin, you had to place a lot of guys. What was kind of your maybe philosophy or just strategy in bringing new guys in? Did you guys just look at the portal and just see a bunch of guys? Just what were you thinking?
No, well, I mean, so that's the thing. You watch this day and age. You talk to a lot of other coaches and how you're going about doing it. And the whole thing too is it is culture, right? So you got to look at the DNA of the guy you're bringing in. And if they might be a great player, but if they don't fit, you're bringing in a bigger problem than you are a solution. So you got to bring in people that fit who you want. Have the same type of like toughness and grit that you need to have to win here. Seth, he's got background playing at Oklahoma. It's a championship program. He's played national championship games in Montana. And we're bringing in guys that have played at a high level. The logos may have been different, but believe me, when we bring guys in, people think recruiting goes one way, it goes both ways. Because as quick as we bring a guy in, if we sit down with them and we're at dinner and we're talking about football, if they don't love football, if they don't love to work, then we don't need them here. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make them bad people, but they don't fit who we are. We don't want to be fluff. We don't want to be hype. We don't want to be all those things that don't win football games. We want to be a tough team that's hard-nosed, that goes out and, and grinds things out, So we have a long season to go, but I think we brought in some guys that identify with the culture here. And I think that's one of the biggest things when you bring guys in from the portal. It can't just be someone who's coming in just to fill a jersey or get an opportunity. It's got to be someone who's got some fire in their belly. They got something to prove, a little chip on their shoulder, and they want to do more.
Any more questions?
Oh, I got some. I was just waiting to see if any of them had some. So just for all three of you, I looked at that board after the game Saturday, and one thing caught my eye, the 12% rule. just for all three of you, just what does that mean for you guys?
That's our deal. That's our deal. We'll keep that one in house.
Okay,
Yep.
that's not a problem.
Yep.
But I do want to ask you one more question, Tony, just about TJ Pride as well.
Yeah.
For
He did great.
the first game, you guys used him in a lot of unique situations, the jet sweeps and things like that. He had a good catch against Liberty last Saturday. So just what have you seen from him just this season, just as a young guy, and just how do you?
Yeah, I talked about it a little last week. He comes from DeSoto, so he comes from a great football program, you know, and, you know, he obviously had a really good first game last. You know, he had a really nice catch with the extended drive this past game. You know, he's a good football player, and he's continuing to grow with the program. And, you know, guys like that, we got to get more involved. You know, again, 2 weeks in a row, you got guys like him, you got guys like Cordell, and we're collecting all kinds of pass interference penalties, but we got to give him some catchable balls. I mean, some of those balls that ended up being PIs, we would love to give him an opportunity, you know, to make those plays in the end zone. So guys like him, PJ came up and did a good job, and we've got some quality receivers, you know, and Pride's one of them, you know. So as the year goes on, I think he'll get more and more opportunities, and yeah, I mean, he's doing what we thought when we recruited him.
What do you feel like he's having to get receivers and just all of them involved more? Because I feel like you guys want that to happen. It's a good receiver group that you guys. Do you feel like there's anything missing, or just what do you?
Well, no, I mean it's like the same conversation, you know. We got to be more productive at the quarterback spot, you know. And then again, you know, the frustrating thing is, you know, we run a nice poker route, we hit a wide open guy, and the ball gets dropped, right? And then all of a sudden now you're gonna, you know, we're up 17-3, we catch that ball, we're on their 45 going in, you got a chance to do the knockout punch, you know. So again, when we give an opportunity, we got to take advantage of them, and then we have to do a better job of distributing the ball. And you know, one thing Liberty did is they give us a pre-snap look, right? And then all of a sudden the look changes post-snap, right? Well, you know, I know our guys are young, don't have a ton of experience, but we have to be better at teaching them how to adapt to the you know, post-snap role of the secondary.
Go ahead, Sam.
I'll just start for Kale and Seth. Just how do you guys feel about playing away games? Like, do you guys like heading into like enemy territory, or would you rather stick in the friendly confines of the Aggie Memorial? Just how do you guys approach road games? Seth, we'll start with you.
I actually love away games. One thing that I learned pretty early in my college career is that good football teams can win on the road. Good football teams win on the road, and so like I said, that just kind of revs my engine up even more, and you know, just gets me more excited to perform. And like I said, it's just another great opportunity, and you know, you kind of get to get around a new atmosphere, and just kind of some, you know, new territory, fresh space, new environment. And I think that adds a lot of excitement for guys. I think it does, and I think it does kind of zone in to the moment, especially with this Fresno State team. So, but you know, obviously, it's just it comes down to us. It comes down to me personally. It comes down to everyone individually, personally. Just, you know, we can't leave any yards out there on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that starts with me, and just making sure everyone has great focus going into this week. We all gotta have extreme focus.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd repeat a lot of what he said. I think we're all about protecting this house, and home field's great, and love playing in front of the fans. But getting on the road's awesome too. You get to like travel with your brothers, you know, and focusing on the game. This is new for me here. We go to the hotel the night before. At Montana, we didn't do that for home games, so I kind of like that atmosphere, and road games I always got to do that, so kind of enjoyed that. And how you said like the enemy sort of atmosphere, and like in hearing all the trash talk the fans are doing and stuff like that, I love that. So and I think we set ourselves up for that when we're competing over the summer or over fall camp, and he puts us in different situations where we kind of get to do that for each other. You know, the defense gets to yell at the offense and vice versa. So yeah, I'm loving it, excited for it.
Last one I have for Tony. I wanted to ask you just about the facility upgrades that are still going on. We see a lot of construction.
Yeah, no, that's really exciting. You know, I mean, you know, it started, you know, a couple years ago, you know, with the ideas and stuff, and now you're seeing this, you know, locker room facility getting built behind us. I mean, it's really exciting. I mean, when we first got here a couple years ago, when I walked in the locker room, I was, oh, same when I was in, you know. You said it's time for a new one, you know, so that's exciting. You know, it's everything about this thing is exciting right now. I mean, you talked about, you know, being on the road, winning on the road, and that's something we hadn't done here in years when we first got here, and I think It might have been UMass on the road, right? In our first year was our first road win, and it was, I mean, I think it had been years before we had gotten one of those. So we've checked a lot of boxes right now, and now going to a place like Fresno, who's one of the better teams in the country, it's at this level is going to be exciting. And like these guys said, man, we're fired up about it, fired up about facilities, opportunities. You just got to keep it rolling. And it's always good to go play a game about hour and 40 minutes from where you grew up too. That's always fun.
Are you kind of trying to take the lead on that like you did for UNLV facility upgrades, or are there just a lot more people?
No, you know what? Mario's the lead on that. And here's the deal. I don't know if he gets talked about quite enough. A lot of the things that have happened here, and he does a great job of just supporting everybody and being underneath the coaches and giving the coaches all the praise. But at the end of the day, he's the reason facilities are getting done. He's the one who's, just gone out there and championed us and what we've needed and put money into football. I mean, just the coaches we've been able to bring in and keep here, the way we feed our players, the academic support that our guys get, these facilities being built, it's the practice field, the new game field, the new locker room, the new scoreboard. I mean, as an athletic director, I think think we're really lucky to have him. He's an ex-Aggie, cares about this place, and he's the lead on this, and he's done a great job.
Yeah. Facility upgrades obviously are a big boost to really everything in the football program, but what do you feel like specifically it's going to boost just for you guys?
Just morale, when you walk into a house, I don't care what you have, it's, you got to take care of what you have, and I think we've done a good job with that. I've always told our guys, you walk into someone's house, and I don't care if it's a, 1,000 square foot home or 10,000 square foot home, you can tell people care about what they have because they take care of it. We've done a good job of that here, but now being able to move into something new, give our guys a little bit more pride, it's going to help in the recruiting process, it's needed. It's needed. We've kind of had some antiquated things for a long time, so it's about time. It's hard to make much improvement without any investment. You could be the best cook in the world, but if you got a dusty old kitchen and a bad location, and you don't put any money into the front or the furniture, no one's going to come in and eat your food. Eat your great food. But all of a sudden, you put a little money in, dress up the window, people come in to check it out, and all of a sudden they see how wonderful it is. You're going to get more people in the building. So that's what we want to do here, too.
Coach, just a question for me. I know it's pretty evident, right? There's a lot of potential here. I think there's a
Yeah.
common theme that there's new players, new staff. And I believe Paletti mentioned after the game, just in that game against Liberty, defense just got a little bit too complacent there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So just what do you really hope to see? Obviously, like I said, a lot of potential here. You guys are doing, every week, there's improvement after improvement. So where do you see your guys in the few games, to come?
Game one is interesting. When you look all over the country in game one, there are a lot of scary game ones. Heck, this weekend there was a lot of scary game twos, The thing that I want to see is I want to see growth. I saw it week 1 to week 2. Now, again, disappointed in the finish. It's 2 weeks in a row where in a 2-minute situation they've driven the field. Now we got to stop at week 1, we didn't week 2, right? So can we do a better job with that, right? Us closing out a game. Here's the frustrating thing: you're sitting there and you have 3rd and 5 with 3 minutes and 12 seconds left in the game. You get 5 yards, you win the game is over, right? That's how critical those moments are. So will we grow, maturity-wise, understanding game situations? Can we close the game out on defense and get a stop? And then can we continue to put pressure on the quarterback the way we did, which we did in the first game? Can we continue to run the ball well, but then add a good passing attack to it? There's some little nuances that we need to get better at. Now, having said that, Fresno presents a different challenge, and it's like their quarterbacks are different. Keeney does a great job of getting the ball out. They're gonna throw the ball over the yard. We have to shut the run game down. Offensively, they got one of their corners is, he's what do you call it, the bowl game or whatever, Reese's bowl game guy. He's really, really good. They've got some good guys back there. So it's us against a new challenge, another team, right? But can we grow and can we get better? If we do that, because potential is a scary word, right? That means you're not quite there yet. You know what I'm saying? You want the word, but I get it. That's kind of what we have right now, So we want to solidify some of that potential into just people saying, hey, you're a good football team. You know what I'm saying? But we got to go prove it. We're sitting there. The crazy thing about it is we could be 2-0 and we could be 0-2. And that's just reality, right? So as long as we keep the main thing, and keep working the problem, we're going to be just fine.
Last question for me, Seth, is just, obviously, new chapter here for you, fresh start. Just what do you really hope to leave here at NMSU?
To leave here, just a positive impact, honestly. Just a withstanding impact, hopefully. Just be able to influence some of the younger guys in a very positive way and get them to realize how opportunistic just all of this is, and how long this can really go beyond football. And one thing that I really admire about this staff, Sanchez, Cobb, they really do care more about just football. We take care of the person first, the character first, and then through time and time again, I think a lot of the guys on this team and the younger guys can see that with that success will follow and everything take care of itself. And I think that, to be honest, I've been able to do that in my journey, and I feel like that's kind of what led me here and kind of brought me in harmony with these guys. And I just kind of let God put these guys in my life, and it's just something I'm really grateful for. So I just kind of want to, I obviously want to help this team, obviously give this team as many wins and championships and his yards and his touchdowns I can give him, and all that is great. I'm gonna. That's something that I chase every day. I chase perfection every day, and that's not something that I really have to. That's just second nature to me. But I really want to leave just a positive impact on all of our teammates and everyone. Just the next year guys, whatever they decide to do, further on down in their career. I just want them to know just the reality of things, and how important it is to be honed in on the little things. And you see it, like you said, you see it in life, and then you see it in our game last Saturday. It really came down to just the smallest things, and I read this book called 212 Degrees. It said you can have 211 degrees and you won't be able to move a train for nothing, but you get that one extra degree in there, and now that you got a train that's moving. And so I want guys to really understand that, and to really embody that, to truly embody it. And so I think that's the big thing.
Okay, sorry, I said I know last question, but Tony, I have to ask, just because as he's speaking, I'm looking at you and you're just smiling. I mean, you could have easily, right? You could have said, no, we're going to pass on this guy, but you saw something in him.
Yeah.
So just what does it mean to you to just hear him speak?
Well, it's just, he's got so much joy. He's so excited about what he's doing every day out there. He's a good teammate, because again, we're going to go out, we're going to win a bunch of games this year. Hopefully we will for many years to come, but 20, 30 years from now, no one's going to remember. No one's going to remember how many games we won. The trophies will get dusty, the rings will just kind of fade away, but the relationships and then the lives you touch and the impact you make, it helps this program, it helps the city, it helps this nation. The more stronger men we have, the bigger character they have, the more they learn how to overcome and to fight. You have an opportunity, in this great game to go ahead and teach some unbelievable life lessons that'll transcend communities. So at the end of the day, believe me, we got a fire in our belly, and we're fired to go win a football game. The bigger picture is really what it's all about. And then through the big picture, you're teaching football. You know what I'm saying? You're teaching life. You're teaching discipline. You're teaching, grit and toughness. And, so it fires me up to hear him talk. So I'm excited. I just hope he runs for a bunch of yards this week.
Most definitely.
Thank you, guys.
Last one.
Oh,
Okay, no.